Hey, if it's Monday, Futurist Jim Carroll must be the weekly motivational recap. I'm doing these things just to keep fresh in the studio as we start to go back to some in-person events. What I'm doing is I'm covering off the trends and the issues which I've been posting in my daily morning inspiration. Now, look, I've been doing these since August 2016. These have become a critical part of how I start every single day. You can find them over at inspiration.jimcarroll.com. What I'm doing is I'm covering the issues that I'm seeing with my clients, with folks who are calling me about disruption, innovation trends, the future, or just some of my own thoughts on how to deal with a world of absolutely relentless change. So you can find them get the right point, on inspiration.jimcarroll.com. There's over 1,500 of these things. This is how I start every single day with my morning coffee. And there's a mailing list. You can join the mailing list. You can find they go out on Instagram, they go out on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and they go out on Substack, as well as being posted to my website. And you get a short, concise little email every day. It's not spam. It's just, here's the quote, here's what I'm thinking. And then what I'm doing here is I'm covering off, these are the things I'm thinking about. These are the things I'm witnessing within my clients. So let's go to Monday. What I wrote last Monday, this one is one I'd been thinking about for quite some time. If your reaction to any type of change is anger, you're not doing it right. And I think what I'm doing here is I'm looking around at the way that people are reacting to the complexities of our world today, whether it's COVID and lockdowns, certainly the challenge of war in Ukraine, economic volatility, gas prices. A lot of anger out there. A lot of people don't really know anymore how to deal with the complexity of their situation. So what do? They lash out, they get angry, they get volatile. They don't act like they might have 10 years ago. Certainly a lot of this is fueled by social media. That's why weeks ago I put together my social media serenity prayer, in which I really wrote about, before you post something, this is what you need to do. I think what I'm doing here is, I certainly have taught myself to deal with my anger at some of the situations I see unfolding out there. And I think that's what I'm trying to capture in that quote. So rolls around to Tuesday. How many of your daily actions are based on lessons that no longer apply? This is directly related to what I see with innovation, creativity trends, the barriers that organizations put in place. And what I wrote into this post is think about what happens in a lot of organizations. They do base a lot of their actions based on lessons that no longer apply because the world has changed. In these organizations where innovation dies, variation in routine is absolutely abhorred. Nobody likes variation. They're all stuck in a rut doing the same thing. The strategies that are in place are completely outdated by faster trends. They keep doing the same old things, and it's really irrelevant. There's a command and control leadership structure that is really from the 1960s. And hey, look, it's the 22nd century, in case you haven't noticed. Outdated human resource practices reward mediocrity. I mean, heroes aren't celebrated. That's because individualism is punished. I mean, these organizations do everything they can to kill and innovation. Risk is something to be feared, and there's no collaboration. The big thinking is abhorred, and creativity is crushed. I want you to go read the post. You can find it for this particular quote over at inspiration.jimcarroll.com, because it goes through the list of your organization and see what you're guilty of. Wednesday rolls around. I write about confidence. People, you ever notice that people that win in the future, they never question for a moment that they might actually lose. They just, I'm going to win. I'm going to do it. I think confidence is something that you absolutely have to have when you're dealing with the future. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have confidence in your mission. You have to have confidence in your vision. You have to have confidence in the actions you're going to take there. You really think about, what defines successful leadership and visionaries. It's a little bit of sniffles here. It's the absolute confidence that they have in where they're going forward in the future. Thursday rolls around. You ever notice it's usually the first people who have a truly great idea who are laughed at? It's true. People who have great ideas, people laugh at them. Elon Musk, Alexander Graham Bell. When Apple brought out the Newton, I mean, they were ridiculed. Well, the Newton became eventually the iPod and the iPhone and multi-billion-dollar industries. It's usually the first organization who has a truly great idea who are the ones who are laughed at. So if you really want to figure out the best way to find the future, go find out what people are laughing about, because that's probably where you're going to find it. That's one of the tricks I figure out I rely on to figure out where we're going in the future. Friday rolls around. How can you identify the biggest problem faced by any organization? If you really want to, discover what's, truly going wrong in an organization, what's the most serious problem they face with? It's the one nobody's going to talk about. I'm continually mystified by the number of times that I'm brought into a Fortune Global 1000 or Global 2000, and they want me to talk about the future, they want me to talk about trends, they want me to talk about what comes next, but don't talk about this particular issue. It's like they're hiding from reality. But yet that's their biggest challenge. And one of my most fascinating circumstances was when I did a keynote for the National Mining Association. And they wanted me to talk about the future trends, what's really going to impact that industry going forward. But it was mentioned to me, but don't talk about renewables because it might upset the coal CEOs in the room. I mean, it's ludicrous. How can you expect to align to the future if you're not going to actually talk about some of the biggest challenges you face with that future? So that's what I covered off last week. You can find a lot more of these at inspiration.jimcarroll.com. I'd encourage you to visit, sign up. Lots of people signing up. They also go out daily, every single workday, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on 2 Facebook pages, and out on Substack. I really encourage you to sign up. I'm getting really positive feedback to a recent format change that I introduced in December. And look, this is my morning routine. I've been doing these since early August 2016, when a series of life circumstances forced me to think a little bit more as to how I was starting my day. And they've become a little bit obsessive. I have not missed one single workday since August 2016. So sign up, inspiration.jimcarroll.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week, but I'll see you again tomorrow as I post my daily inspiration each and every day. Futurist Jim Carroll from the virtual broadcast studio.